Namaskar. Today is the first Friday of the month. This evening, as per our routine, the Vedanta Study Circle of Naperville, we are giving the Gita discourse. Though till today we can't go in person, so online we will be reading the Bhagavad Gita. So let us begin, as we always do, from our Dhyana mantra, from Gita, Dhyana mantra. First and the fifth mantra we will chant. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarashinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadeshinim Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsacharnuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagat Gurum. Friends, you know that we are studying the 13th chapter. A very interesting, the title of the chapter is Kshetra, Kshetragya Vibhaga Yoga. Vibhaga is a division, dividing, understanding. What one is Kshetra, another is Kshetragya. So what is Kshetra? All the created things are the Kshetra. What is Kshetragya? The consciousness that is within all beings. This. The Kshetra, Kshetragya, Vibhaga Yoga. Why this yoga? Because if we can understand this, then we will be able to understand our true nature and can go and merge with, if we want a personal God, merge with the God, or if we travel towards the path of knowledge, through the path of knowledge, to that Brahman. That means the source. So that is we were reading. And what is this source? What is this Brahman? The problem is, Brahman is beyond all limitations. So obviously, no one can express what is this Brahman. Time, space, causation, all beyond. So how to explain that this is Brahman? So we have to go in indirect way. So always they say that, see, all these things are happening because of the Brahman. See, that is there because of the Brahman. So indirect way, always they take in that way. Now, we have already studied, that is 14th verse of the 13th chapter. It says, Sarvata Panipadam Tat, Sarvata Kshi Shiro Mukham, Sarvata Srutiman Loke, Sarvamavritta Tishtati. We have already studied that. It has hands and feet everywhere. It means that Brahman. And the Brahman is having the hands and feet. How it is possible? No. Those beings that you see having the hands and feet, in reality, a Brahman. Brahman manifesting through them. So, in an indirect way, introducing us with that Brahman, which is so difficult to explain. You have to realize it directly, that's all. and there is no other way. But still, all the Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he is trying very hard to give us this idea. The Sri Krishna, sometimes we take that most of the time people think is a personal God. And they close up in such a way. Some people, not understanding the proper teachings, so they say that Krishna is the only God. Maybe it helps them in their own personal life. There's no problem. But when they become fanatic, they will criticize the other gods and goddesses or other paths, other philosophy. That is the trouble. If I think Krishna is the only God, no problem. What type of Krishna? Who is this Krishna? Sarvata panipadam tat. From the viewpoint of a personal God, suppose it is a personal God, I love Krishna only, okay, no problem. But what is this Krishna? If I know this, it will be better for me. Only playing the flute and dancing with the gopinis and gopas and fighting in the Kurukshetra, is this the Krishna? A person who was born in such and such time, his father was this, mother was this, and then is this the Krishna? If you understand that way, no harm. But that is not the complete. And of course, it is impossible to understand the God in complete sense, but still if we can understand in this way, the Sarvata panipadam tat, Sarvata akshi shiro mukham, Sarvata srutiman loke, Sarvam abritta tishtati. And if we translate the Sanskrit sloka, its hands and feet are everywhere. Its eyes, heads and faces are everywhere. Pani means the hand, padam means the feet. Akshi, eyes, shira, the head, and the mukham, the faces. And the ears are everywhere. Why are mentioning like this? Because these are the things by which we earn knowledge. We find knowledge. That we go and see, then we believe. Yes, I have seen with my own eyes. I have heard it. I have smelled it. I have touched it. Like that, our all sense organs, so they are going out to the sense objects and then bringing the information, and my mind is satisfied. Majority of us, we say, this is science. So we always go and taste and understand and then only believe. No problem. But how these things are functioning? My eyes are seeing, my ears are listening, the nose is smelling. There's a consciousness. When that consciousness leaves this body, even though all these organs are present in the body, body has nothing to do. And we burn or bury the bodies. That means consciousness. What is that consciousness? That is mentioned over here as it. It is having that. That is the Brahman, which is consciousness. Our sense organs cannot work without that consciousness. We all know that. Sarvendriya gunabhasam. Again, sarvendriya bivarjitam. So after reading the verse 14, if we think, oh, that means these are all the sense organs that we are having, so that is the Brahman. Again, immediately the next verse, it says, Sarvendriya gunabhasam, Sarvendriya bivarjitam. We should not misunderstand thinking Brahman is having the sense organs. No. Sarva indriya bivarjitam. All the indriyas means the sense organs. And these only 5 sense organs are there. Again and again we are telling. And we know that these only the 5 sense organs which are collecting the information and going it to the mind. And what is that mind? Mind also, according to the traditional Hindu way, it has 4 compartments, mana, buddhi, chitta and ahamkara. and the mana that is only trying to take the decision, can't take decision, and the buddhi takes the decision, it is the master, and then there is a storehouse, and at the back of everything, ahamkara, the I sense. This ego, the I sense, I am doing, I am seeing, I am feeling everything, that is called the ego. So with the whole thing is depending on that pure consciousness. Again and again, it takes our mind to that, and that is Krishna. Sri Krishna means that Brahman. Purna Brahma. Sri Ramchandra also, Purna Brahma. The external form that we see, that is only manifested, only guide us. In true Hindu religion means to understand this consciousness which is all pervading. And what will happen? Our ego will go away. We think I am separate from that, I am more educated, I am more rich, I am more beautiful, I am more comfortable. No. Everything is happening because of the consciousness. So that is the teaching we are finding, Kshetra and Kshetrajna. The Ga means the knower, and that is the consciousness. Without that, nothing can happen. So consciousness, to understand this truth, Vedantin use superimposition and negation method. Is superimposing the Brahman, how it is hearing, is listening, smelling, touching. Then it says, no, it is not having anything. So it is superimposing the qualities, at the same time negating that, and what is left over, the consciousness only. Is clarifying this idea in the next verse. It says, Sarvendriya gunabhasam, sarvendriya vivarjitam. The activities of the sense organs are the presence of consciousness. Abhasa, sarva indriya guna abhasa. Abhasa means it's a feeling. And when we feel that, and we feel there is consciousness. So avhasha is there. Nowadays, the very pathetic, though, that those who have experienced the COVID, and luckily they have come back in the normal life, their experiences, when you read here and there, they says, we lost all our smelling power. We couldn't smell anything. So that, though their organ was there, but something happened they couldn't. And the life was very difficult. So like this, like the experiences. The organs are very, very essential, and we think we are surviving because of the organs, but it is not. So that is the truth we are learning from here. Asaktam sarvabhrichaiva nirgunam gunavapticha. It says ashaktam sarvabhrichaiva. And it is the divide of senses. It is unattached. Ashakta. Shakta means attached. Asakta, though it is unattached, yet it is the sustainer of all. Now friends, in the beginning, we started this discussion with this, that it is very difficult to understand the consciousness. Though without the consciousness, we are all inerts. The consciousness is the main, it is always there within us. But still, it's a mystery why we can't understand it. We feel it. We feel that it is there. And if it is not there, then we are dead. So that is the reason we are trying to understand what is this consciousness. I can see, is this the consciousness? I can touch, is this the consciousness? So I am taking the help of all my organs. Are the organs as the source of consciousness? Then it comes, no. Organs are all sustaining because of the consciousness, though the consciousness is not at all attached to this. Without this, what attachment means? Without these organs, consciousness will remain. It will be always there. So this is And guna bhaktricha, it is beyond all gunas. Gunas means 3 gunas, sattva, raja, tama. So this is the way it goes. Now it comes to the 16. We will read from here. Up to 15 we already read, and just as a reminder, we read the meaning of it. Now we continue from here. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha sukshmatvat tad abhigniyam durastam chantike chatat. Again is giving in another way the same thing in a many different way. They are trying to bring home the knowledge. What is this? All the hands that you see, all the eyes that you see, all the faces that you see, all the feet and all the heads, everything is nothing but that Brahman. Now, when we conclude, now the sum total of all these, Again it says, it is not the hands, it is not the feet, it is not the head, it has nothing to do with any organs. But then what it is? So this is they always say this and not this. So we are superimposing and at the same time negating. And when we negate, when we say it is not, then on what we were superimposing? So that is the thing. Now friends, again and again the Vedantin, they give the example of the rope. And rope, that is the basis. On that, I gave the birth of a snake. And then the rope was sustaining the snake. Conception of snake, though it is not real, conception of snake. So the birth of the snake on the rope it is also sustaining because of the rope. Then when the knowledge of light came, the light of knowledge came, then what happened? It dissolved. Where? Inside that rope. Similarly, rope is the basis. So when we see the object, what is that? The consciousness. On the consciousness, we are seeing flowers, we are seeing these, we are smelling that. All these things are happening, sustaining, it is remaining there. Then one day it is dissolving into it. When we die, where do we go? Into that original consciousness. So that he says, Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha sukshmatvat tat abhigniyam durastam chantike chatat. Another way now they are explaining, Bahi antascha. Bahi means external, anta is internal. What is this? It is all inside. Bahi antascha bhutanam. Present in outside and also in inside. Acharam charame bacha. It is moving, unmoving. Moving means all the living beings. Unmoving means inert like the stones and all. So moving, unmoving, in everything the Brahman is present, consciousness is present. And this is the uniqueness. That's why a Hindu cannot hurt others. Why? Because the consciousness is present everywhere. How can I hurt? Even the stone is having that consciousness, yes. When those who know the stories of that Puranas, when the Hiranyakashipu, the father of the great devotee Prahlada, was asking his son, Prahlada, where is your God? Then he showed a stone pillar and said, do you think the God is here? You said God everywhere. Is he present in the stone? Then the Prahlada says, yes, it is. He went and kicked on the wall angrily, and the wall broke, whether you believe it or not. From that came out that Narasimha, a human and a lion form, etc. That is the story. But through the story, we come to know the consciousness is present everywhere. So this, it is telling, Bohi antascha bhutanam. It is external, outside of the human being or the beings, bhuta. Bhuta means the beings, external and internal. That means everything. It is only there. And chara achara, in not only the moving, not only as the thing that is having the life, so-called life, everywhere. But why we can't understand this? Sukshmatva tad abhigyeyam. Sukshma means it's very subtle. Then that means we can't understand. How we understand? Through our senses. What are the senses? 5 sense organs, 5 senses are there. And when all the 5 says, no, sir, we cannot find out, then sukshmatva, it is very subtle, so we cannot get that information. Tat abhigyeyam, it remains unknown. Afterwards, it says durastam, and at the same time, cha antike chatar, it is very so near. When we read, we get confused. In just moment you are telling that it is far away, and the next moment you are telling that it is so close. What is it? Durastam, it is unknown to those who cannot go beyond the Maya, go beyond the name and form. For them it is unknown. But those who could cross it, for them it is so close, so known. They can understand it. So that is the, it says, sukshmatva tat abhigyeyam durastam cha antike cha tat. It is so close to them. Sukshmatva tad abhigyeyam. All about the Brahman they were telling. One is the Kshetram, another is Kshetragya. What is the Kshetra? All this being. And what is the Kshetragya? The consciousness. Now, we, the being, particularly human being, as because we have developed, because of the nature, and we say God's grace, we have got this human form, and in the human form, we have got the one very wonderful gift of nature, that is the power of discrimination, the power of analysis. We can analyze the things. And through that, slowly, slowly, inch by inch, we are going towards the consciousness. What is it? So this journey, going to it, and this moment, we are taking the path of knowledge. That's the path of devotion, path of the unselfish karma, look, all those are there. But it's a knowledge. And in the knowledge, what we are analyzing? So our object is consciousness. And is our mind conscious? Is our hands are conscious? Our eyes are conscious? Our ears are conscious? These are the inquiry, those who are analyzing. So as if we are the scientist trying to find out. So he is going on experimenting. Our goal is to find out the consciousness. And what is consciousness? Well, I can move my hand. That means the hand is conscious. No. Because something happened and people say that I am dead, that time I cannot move my hands. That means hand is not conscious, something else, with the power of which I can move my hand. This point is clear. So I negate the hand is not. Feet, the same way, same argument. And the same argument is applicable to the eyes, the ear, the nose, the tongue. Then what else remain? Mind. Well, mind is the all-powerful. Maybe because of the mind, all these organs were working. And with the power of mind, the decision we could work. So this is the mind, is that which we are searching. Is it? The mind is also constantly changing. When we were children, we used to think in some other way. Now grown-up people thinking in a different way, and the spiritual people are thinking the same object, but they see and they analyze, they think in a completely different way. So then what is this? It should be one. Everywhere, in different condition, in different manifestation, it should be one. It cannot be two, it cannot be many. So that is the way when you are analyzing, within the mind is also not that consciousness. So what is that consciousness? Oh, I don't know. It is far, far away from me. Then the Lord Buddha comes, Sri Krishna comes, Sri Ramakrishna comes, Swami Vivekananda comes, and we see, yes. They say, no, son, this is so close to you. You are that. So for some people who cannot understand, it is very far. And some people who can understand it, it is so close. So antike and also dure. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha sukshmatva tad abhigneyam durastham chantike chatat. Next 13 verses says, Abhibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam cha sthitam bhuta bhatri cha tajgniyam grasishnu prabhavishnu cha. Now the 17 in my book, sometimes some books say the 17 has become 18, like the little changes, but it is very close. So, abhibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam cha sthitam. Abhibhaktam cha bhuteshu, that is, it cannot be divided. Brahman is only one. Abhibhakta. The vibhakta means divided or negative. Abhibhakta, it is only one, it is not divided. Abhibhakta cha bhuteshu vibhakta miba. So this is very peculiar. Bhuteshu vibhaktam iba cha sthitam. Iba, as if. We cannot say it is that. As if it is divided, as if. Vibhakta iba cha sthitam. Iba means as if it is divided. You are conscious, she is conscious, I am conscious, they are conscious. So all the consciousness in so many different people. Are not consciousness different? There's so many consciousnesses are there, isn't it? So we will feel in that way. But a man of knowledge, the Brahma Jnani, the knower of Brahman will say, no, it is undivided. Then how it is possible that I feel consciousness, you are feeling consciousness, my consciousness is inspiring my sense organs to get activated, your consciousness that time sleeping, so your organs are not working. How can you say that we are all same? Suppose it is one, then when I am sleeping, everybody should be still, cannot work. Because one consciousness which is within me is not working. How it is possible? Then the Vedantins say, it is like a reflection. The actual original consciousness is one and it has no part. But the same consciousness is reflecting on the intellect of all the individual beings. And that is which we feel I. So that's why I am thinking I am different than you, and you are thinking you are different from her, him. So all these things are happening. I am thinking. That capacity is coming. Like the sun reflecting on the water. And there are so many, maybe the glass full of waters, or the pots are there full of waters, maybe 1,000 pots. And in every 1,000, all the 1,000 pots are having the reflection of the sun. And as because sun is warm and bright, is glittering, everything is present in that. Because of the reflection of the sun, the water is also becoming warm. Because of the reflection of the sun, it is also bright. So if that is so, same way, the Brahman, which is consciousness, reflecting on all the individual soul, all the individual intellect, and we are thinking, I am conscious and you are also conscious. So this is the only difference. The moment we can understand this, we are not that. We are the reflection of that, the T capital. And what is that? Now here, for an example, as I said, it is the sun. The sun, which is far, far away. For that sun, so many thousands of suns are reflecting on all the water pot. And the millions and millions of beings, as if we are surviving because of the one consciousness. So it says that it is abhibhaktam cha bhuteshu, vibhaktam iba cha sthitam. Though it is abhibhakta, it is undivided, it is only one, it has no part. That's why it says advaita. It is only one, it is not telling, it is not two, it cannot be two. So those arguments are there. So there it is not two. Then again it is as if becoming so many. Then it says, Bhuta bhatri cha tajgiyam grashishnu prabhavishnu cha. And Bhuta bhatri, the sustainer of all being. Bhatri, Bharta, Bharta means the sustainer. Because of that it is sustaining. Bhuta means the beings, and it is the sustainer. And suppose that sun is not there, there will be no reflection on the water. There will be no warmth filling inside the water. No brightness will be there. Everything will go. Similarly, because of that consciousness, we are surviving, we are talking, we are feeling, and all those things are happening because of the one consciousness. So our journey is towards the consciousness, and this consciousness is known as Brahman. And sometimes people call it a Bhagavan, or the God, or Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, so many names. Maybe little different conception. As we think about the Brahman, maybe other people may not think about that, but it is almost the same thing. So goal is that consciousness. So when that goal is that consciousness, here it says, we are sustaining because of that consciousness. And Grosishnu Prabhavishnu cha. Tad Giyam. Giyam means the object of knowledge. And what is that? Consciousness. And that is actually helping us to sustain. And Grosishnu is destroyer. And Prabhavishnu, it is also the creator. So Grosishnu, Grahan, it is going in, it is being destroyed. So how it is destroyed? Sometimes when use the word destruction, Shiva is the Shiva Tandava. That means the Shiva is destroying the whole universe. The moment we read like this or hear like these words, we are afraid and can't appreciate Shiva. Why he is killing? When you talk about the mother Kali, she is destroying. How she can do it if she is a divine mother? But what is destruction? Destruction is nothing but removing the ignorance. As I was just mentioning, that it was only rope. There was no snake. We have given the birth of a snake on what? On the rope. Then because of our ignorance, the snake, that imagined snake, was sustaining on the rope. And then finally, when the knowledge came, the light came, we destroy that snake, we kill that snake. Is this really very difficult to understand? The killing means going back to the original. Destruction means going back to the original. That's why the Shiva is considered as the Devadi Deva. He is the Lord of all lords, all gods. Why? Because he is taking it within, and he is the source to give again, once again, through the mystical power of Maya, again the birth. So we have to understand this. What is this Brahman? Consciousness. And because of the consciousness, all organs are activated. And because of the consciousness, we are superimposing our world, our created world, on that. And it is sustaining on that. Then when the knowledge is dawning, as if the sunrise, all the darkness of the night goes away, and we can see things properly, we see it is nothing but the consciousness. And I was thinking, this is the world. And this is a world of names and fames. This is a world of so many varieties. As because, suppose we are living, human being is living for 100 years, and for this long 100 years, it's a long time for an individual, 100 years, and we see all the differences. So we take it for granted that this is the permanent thing, but it is nothing like that. It goes on changing. So how we understand? Using our brain, using our discriminative capacity. Do we go through the pages of the history and we find that so many civilizations, so many things were happening, and it was going on changing that slowly. So obviously that it is possible that everything is moving out, everything is changing, and it can be like this. So friends, let us go to the next verse, and it says that Jyotisham opita jyoti tamasa paramuchyate jnanam giyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya dhishtitam Jyotisham opita jyoti. Now here, when we are talking about Jyotisham opita jyoti, Jnanam, Giyam, Jnanagamyam, there's three words. Now we were thinking about, it is all darkness, when it is no, it is also the light, the Jyoti. Which is the Jyoti means it is also the Jnana, that is the knowledge. The Jyotisham opita Jyoti, tamasa paramuchyate. It is beyond the tamasa. It goes beyond the tamasa, paramuchyate. That is the highest. It is the Brahman is the light of lights. It is beyond darkness. What is darkness? Ignorance. Light of light. Light means knowledge. Where from the knowledge came? From Brahman. So that is the way. So I always remember that when I went to talk to some of the students in the college, when I was asking where from the knowledge comes, then say it from our teachers. Where from your teacher get the knowledge? From the books. Someone says library. And where from the books that got the knowledge? We don't know. Some writers maybe. It is from the Prakriti, from the nature. And what is that nature? Within ourselves. And what we are doing, we are analyzing it. That's why the knowledge are two different types. One is the science, the knowledge that we can understand through all the senses, the external knowledge. And another knowledge is there which is inside us. Friends, we are now discussing the knowledge which is residing within us. So this is called the jnana. That is, one is para and apara, two Sanskrit words they say. One that is that through our senses we call vijnana, we call the knowledge of the external world, and that is based on name and form. Whatever we know, we immediately give a name. We see some insect, we didn't see insect before. whatever the collections we are having, this is a new one adding, so we give a name to it, and immediately that form is there. The next generation students will be reading. So this way we gather so many informations. The bird watchers, animal lovers, they are going and finding out. They do so much of work to find out. And then that knowledge is in one place it comes, and it is the science we learn from the books that this is this. Then the physicists, they will be researching how the things are working, the power in the nature. The chemists are working how the things are changing because of the different type of chemicals coming together. So these are all knowledge, mathematics, calculation, all knowledges. But all this knowledge in one side, and that is called the science, the external knowledge. But the spiritual knowledge is completely different. It says all those differences that you see, so many millions of insects, the birds, the reptiles, and the animals, the human being, and so many things in the nature, that is actually one. And here we stop and wonder how it is possible. When the Vedanta say, whatever you see is nothing but that one. All the names and forms, that's why very beautifully and poetically the Lord Sri Krishna gave Sarvata Panipadam Tat Sarvata Akshishiro Mukham Sarvata Srutiman Loke Sarvam Abritta Tishtati. When we read that, we feel, is it possible? It is everywhere. Yes, that is the consciousness. Whatever we see is nothing but that consciousness. That is the Hinduism. They go to that summit, they go to that ultimate. But to reach over there, we need the preparation. We cannot directly go over there, as because we see so many different things. So the teacher, the God himself coming in the form of a teacher and slowly, slowly taking us step by step. And in the Bhagavad Gita, we are understanding this, and we are reading here, this is Jyotishamopi tat jyoti. The lights that you see, the knowledge that you get, all knowledges, the understanding are coming from him. That is the basis. Otherwise, there cannot be any knowledge. That is Jyotishamopi tat jyoti. And where it remains, tamasa paramuchyate, it is already there. The moment you remove the ignorance, immediately the flash of that light comes, as if. So what is that ignorance? The idea of many. The moment we remove, after discrimination, after analysis, slowly, slowly, when we remove it, then the jnana comes. Those who have studied or read that Shankaracharya, Mano Buddhaham Kara Chityani Naham, he goes on telling like this, that I am not the mind, I am not the hand, I am not the feet, I am not having any family, I am not having mother, father, I am nothing. And then finally, that question comes, am I nothing? No. He said, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Aham Nirvikalpa, Nirakara Rupa. No akara. No akara means the form. No form, but I have that form. That means Nirakara Rupa. The beautiful way it is explaining. Nirakara Rupa. Rupa means the form, but I don't have any form. So whatever the forms that you see, it is me. And again, it is not me. I go beyond that. So here we find in the 18th verse, Jyotisham opita jyoti tamasa paramuchyate. Go beyond that ignorance. Then comes jnanam giyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya dishtitam. Jnanam is the knowledge. Gyam, object of knowledge. Jnanagamyam, the goal of knowledge. I am these three. Jnanam, Gyam, Jnanagamyam. Where the knowledge will take you? It will take you to that one. I am that knowledge. What is that knowledge? There's so many things that I see. The knowledge are two types. The one is variety, another is one. One is the worldly knowledge, another is the spiritual knowledge. So I turn to the spiritual knowledge. Well, now I am traveling. So when I am going over there, I am going towards the one. I am going towards the source. I am going towards the source of all knowledges, all names and forms. So there when I go, Jnanagamyam, everything is me. When you are discriminating, when you are judging, when you are utilizing your brain, your intellect, that is me. That is the consciousness again. Then the processes that you are using, also me. And then ultimately when you come to the conclusion and stand before that, and that's why in the Upanishad it's described in this way, that please remove that, the golden cover. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pitam mukham tattam pushana pabrinu satya dharmaya drishtaye. Hiranmayena patrena, as if with a vessel of gold, made of gold, you are covering the. It is so beautiful. But still it is not that truth, because there is a cover. What is that cover? It is the gold I can see. I can see the form. Though it is beautiful, though it is very costly, it is made of gold, but still it has a name and it has a form. Remove that. I don't want that. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pitam mukham. I like to see the face of the truth. Seeing the face of the truth, standing face to face with the truth, that means merging with the truth. And it's telling that way, Hridigam sarvasya adhishtitam. I am remaining everywhere. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam gyam cha uktam samasataha madbhakta etad vijñāya madbhava upapadyate. And it says, iti kshetram tatha jnanam gyam choktam samasataha madbhakta etad vijñāya. Now if you are devoted to me, madbhakta, bhakta means the devotee. What is the devotion? Understanding and love. Now I am a devotee of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. That means I love his ideas, his lifestyle, his teachings. So when I start loving, so that's called devotion. So slowly I am trying to imbibe. So he says, my devotees. Who are these my devotees? They are following the path of knowledge. That though he is telling devotee, but they are following the path of knowledge. So we have to understand that. The moment we use the word devotion, that means we think that it is only the love, and of course it is love for knowledge. We think that it is only the personal God, of course it is that, but it is to understand that it is impersonal. So this way if we understand, then we will understand that Hinduism can never become narrow. No. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna solved this problem. If I try to love each and every one, then my focus will be lost. I cannot focus on one. He said, no, we have the conception of Ishta Bhava. What is the Ishta? Ishta means my focused one. So there are Shiva, Krishna, Vishnu, Rama, Sri Ramakrishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all they are there. And I can take up anyone, love And when I understand this, that everything that I see is nothing but that consciousness, in different forms, in different names. It is the same consciousness. So how the narrowness will come? The Hinduism cannot become narrow. Those who are thinking, it is only for their practice. In the beginning, very, very beginning, the first step in the Hinduism. So I love Krishna only, I love Shiva only, I love Goddess Kali, no problem. At least you have stepped in, and now you have to find out wherever you go, that divinity manifested in different names and forms. If you go to the Hindu temple, in America it is really beautiful. In one temple you find all gods and goddesses. When I go to the Lemont Hindu temple, I like it very much. Because all gods and goddesses, different names and forms are there. They are all equally getting the respect and the devotion from the devotees. The same devotee going to each and every one. But they know that God has no form, no name. It is only the consciousness. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam giyam choktam samasataha. Thus, the kshetra, the knowledge, and that which has to be known have been briefly stated. Cha uktam samasataha. I have said. Uktam means the said, samasataha. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam giyam choktam samasataha mad bhakta etad vigyaya. And when they understand this, who my devotee, who are following my words, madbhava madhigacchati. Madbhava. That madbhava means they become God themselves. They go and merge with the God. Madbhava. What is the bhava of Lord Krishna? This. Everywhere. Everything. We have to remember only one sloka, then we will understand the Hinduism. Sarvata panipadam tat sarvata kshishiro mukham. Everywhere, everything is nothing but that my God, my bhava, mad bhava. What is that bhava of the Krishna? Bhava of the Krishna is this, that I am everywhere. Consciousness is everywhere, in different names and forms. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam giyam choktam samasataha madbhakta eta vigyaya madbhava upapadyate. They become one with me. Then it comes to the 20th verse of the 13th chapter, and it says, Prakritim purusham chaiva vidyanadi ubhavapi Vikaramscha gunamschaiva vidhi prakriti sambhavan. Prakritim purushaschaiva. Now the two words now the Lord is using, one is prakriti, another is purusha. In some places the Lord has used kshetra, kshetrajna. Only different terminologies, but meaning the same. Prakriti is the nature. And the nature means variety, different names and forms, different activities. And when the activities go, some are good, some are bad, and some are in between. Sattva, Raja, Tama, Gunas are activated, and it is having different names, different places, different time. All that is Prakriti. Purusha, calm and quiet. It is only one. This Prakriti and Purusha, this very wonderful philosophical conception, it has been given as a shape so the people can understand. And that is in that statue, in that image that is called Shiva and Kali. Those who have seen the picture of Goddess Kali, you can imagine that the mother, the divine mother, standing on the chest of the Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is white, pure sattva, It's full of love and unselfishness. It cannot work. It is just because of that love, because of the unselfishness, that the knowledge of oneness, it is so much present over there. It cannot work. You have to mix something for the main activity. And that's why the same Shiva is taking the mother form, that is Goddess Kali, and Goddess Kali is the color mixture of black and red. When we say the Rudira, the blood, it is red, and also the dark color. So that is the way the another two qualities, Raja and Tama, represented. Same Sattva is becoming Raja and Tama, so Prakriti and the Purusha. Of course, here the Purusha is also beyond all qualities. Biddha anadi ubhavapi. Biddha, you must know, anadi, eternal. It is no beginning. Adi means beginning. Anadi, no beginning. That means eternal. Ubhavapi, both are going together, flowing together. Bikaramscha gunamschaiva. What are the bikara and the guna? Guna sattva rajatama. And bikara we know, jayate, asti, vardate, viparanyamate, vipakshiyate. That means the circle of birth and death. It is born and then growing up, then decaying, then one day it becoming dead. So the circle is going on. So that bikara and guna, it is in the prakriti only, it is in the nature only, and not in the consciousness. The consciousness and its power is flowing together. They are eternal. Knowing these, my devotees coming to me and Prakritim, the modifications and the gunas are born of Prakriti. Karya karanaka tritve hetu prakriti uchyate Purusha sukha dukkhanam bhaktrite hetu uchyate Purusha prakriti stohi bhungte prakriti jan gunan karanam gunasam gasya sadasad yoni janmasu. Friends, let us stop over here, and from the next day, again in the next month, the same, the first Friday evening 7 to 8, we will take up these verses and we'll try to explain. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna gave a wonderful example, the example that if you go to a house, you will find a gentleman sitting quietly in one corner in the sitting living room and reading newspaper or a book or watching the TV. And the lady of the house, she is working, she is talking, she is giving instructions, she is serving the food, as if she is everything. But sometimes the lady is going and talking and discussing and taking the permission of the husband. Of course, when Sri Ramakrishna, he is giving the picture of the household, that was in the 20th century beginning, so obviously it was like that. Now, in the 21st century, it has changed a little, and in the modern times, but whatever, that is the Purusha, inactive, but having all power, all knowledge, all command. And the Prakriti is just like the mother working, and though she is working, but working with the power of that Purusha. So Purusha and Prakriti, that is here the words they have used, both are same. One is inactive, another is active. We will continue. Let us conclude again the last verse, last sloka of the Gita Dhyana. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunnanti Dibbhai Stabai Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Nabidu Surajana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Friends, let us pray to the divine power. Let everyone be happy. All over the world, people are suffering. And now the information, the news is coming from India. The whole country is suffering in the terrible COVID-19. The Mother bless us all. Let all this terrible suffering of all people everywhere in the world goes away. Let the life become normal again. Let the people enjoy. The fear goes away. And we again be happy and remember God. Let us pray all the day, every time. Thank you very much.